bearing with me. If the camera's tilted, I'm sorry, tripod is still broken. We're looking for a new one, but like it can't get here in a day. Yeah, especially when you haven't like actually done the research. Anyways, that's okay. Here we go. Starting now. So it's been a hot minute since I've done a Saturday special. Sorry. Things got crazy, and one night I was like really sick and was like, you know what, I'll just not do it. So I didn't, and then forgot the next week that was a thing. So here we are. Next Saturday special, and here's what I want to do. So I know this week or last week, goodness, I've got the hiccups. I talked about a fairy tale that I'm sure exists, and like I don't know where to find it. That wasn't the one that I thought that we were reading. I was like, maybe it is, but then it wasn't. And you picking up what I'm throwing down? Yeah, anyways. So here's the thing. I was going to do a Saturday special and ask the hive mind of the internet and like you people and be like, yo, does anyone know if this actually exists? But then I was like, what if I read it later? Because I haven't read the whole book yet and it's in there and then I'll feel really dumb. So instead I'm going to talk about this other thing that I know for a fact exists. Because let me explain. But I cannot find it anywhere. I can't find proof. Everyone thinks I'm crazy. I'm not. So, hear me out. Hear me out. So it's this book series that I know for a fact I picked up when I was a kid at my local library. And I loved it. I read like, I don't know how many books I read. It was one of those like thinner books. Like in my library it was like the kids intermediate section instead of just like the kids fiction or whatever. And I can't find it anywhere. Like, it just doesn't exist. So they either got rid of it because it wasn't read enough, or I don't know. I'm just not competent enough to find it. So I'm like, you know what? Let me rant about it on the internet. Why not? What could go wrong? A lot of things could go wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because one, I'll feel better just getting it out there, being like, this is really frustrating that I can't find this, just to be like, I found this, and I remember it. Because I found this other book series that I know I read, and I was like, ha! I was right! It existed! That weird book that I read existed! And there's a whole series! So that made me happy. But this other one cannot find. So let me give you a plot description of as far as I can remember. So, okay. Here's what happened. Basically, it was like some elf or fairy or like just some kind of like fae, but like in the modern sense, of like tiny little people with wings that don't hurt anyone ever. Glitter and sparkles and rainbows and all that. And they like had these items, like these special vault of items that were like super magical and powerful or whatever. And so they had, from my understanding, they had this like teenager or like child elf guarding it for some reason, or she was there for some reason and involved. I don't know. All I know is that she like blames herself later on because she gets overpowered or something and like knocked out, and then when she wakes up, everything's gone and everyone's like, oh no, what are we gonna do? And she's like, I will take full responsibility for this, and my friend and I will go on an adventure and find all the items. And they do. To my understanding, I didn't finish the series, but I read enough that I read the first book, and then I read a later book that I'm about to get to in a second. So, okay, hear me out. I know this sounds like the plot of a Daisy Meadows book. It's not. name dropping here. It is not one of them like rainbow fairies or pet fairies or whatever. I swear it's not. Like, because it's weirder than anything she would write. And like, there were no humans involved. It was just she and her like other friends that were elves or fairies or something of the sort. Okay, the book that I remember with the most absolute vivid detail was, there was this magical teddy bear. Hear me out. I didn't write this. I'm smart and I'm creative. I'm not this smart or creative, especially as a child, to come up with this plot that I thought was weird as a kid. Like, like, I'm not that smart. Even if it was a dream, like, I would have known and would have been like, wow, I should write that down. Hear me out. So there was this magical teddy bear that was associated with, I don't know. I think these things were associated with things. Maybe they weren't. I don't know. Or maybe it just took the form of a teddy bear. I don't know. Again, this is me trying to think back, like, over a decade of, like, reading experience. I can't remember what I read 2 years ago. Like, it just all blends together, and so I'm like, but I'm positive that this was one singular book, and I can't find it anywhere. Okay. And again, normally I would have written up a script for this, but this was just kind of an impromptu, let's do it! What could go wrong? A lot of things. Okay, so there was this magical teddy bear, right? Right, here we go. No sidetracking this time. And so they went to the land of sleepovers. And in the land of sleepovers was like these rooms and rooms and rooms and rooms of like 6-year-olds that didn't sleep ever. Like, I remember reading the description of these 6-year-olds and I'm like, I wouldn't want to be there. This sounds crazy and chaotic. And like, me now is like, you know, it could have been kind of fun. But me then was like, no, somebody go to sleep. Why are you awake? Like, no. I think you think I'm kidding. Like, you know, like some teenagers are like, oh, I don't sleep, but they sleep at least like a good 3 or 4 hours a night. No, they did not sleep. They didn't do it. Like, they would have one sleepover, and then they would get up the next morning and, like, make pancakes and then just go throughout the day, and it was the same sleepover. And, like, sometimes they'd, like, switch around beds, I think. Like, move, like, sleep in different, like, rooms, but it was, like, this massive space of different rooms and, like, different areas of, like, this never-ending sleepover. Never-ending. Like, as a child, that, for some reason, that haunted me. That terrified me, that, like, I wouldn't be able to sleep. In case you're wondering, as a child, I liked sleep, for the most part. You know, like, as a kid, you're like, yeah, sleep's pretty cool. And then, like, reading this, it's like, they didn't ever sleep? Okay. I remember vividly just reading this, and I'm, like, horrified. So anyways, there's this room, like this massive, like, just land of just different rooms of, like, nail painting and, like, eating junk food and, like, watching TV and, like, whatever, like, just all these sleepover activities, and they would, like, just all move, and then at night, they would sit and talk forever and not sleep. Ever. So it wasn't even a sleepover. It wasn't a land of sleepovers, even though it was called the land of sleepovers, or something of the sort. Again, I swear this exists. Hear me out. Okay, like, and so then, like, this elf, fairy, and whatever her friends, they sat down and they, like, sung a lullaby to them, and just this massive, like, every single, like, hyperactive 6-year-old fell asleep. Because they, for some reason, they all had the exact same teddy bear, and they're like, how are we gonna find the teddy bear in this mess, especially when they're, like, moving, like, constantly, just, like, these jumping, I don't know, things that jump. and so then they calm them down, and they're like, let me tell you a story, or they sing to them, or I honestly can't remember. All I know is that everyone fell asleep, and somehow that meant that they could find the magical teddy bear, and And then they got out of there, but they were all like proud. They're like, wow, maybe they'll learn like sleep is actually a good thing. And then I remember starting the next book. And for whatever reason, hear me out, there was like this butler creature that like someone made it rain chocolate, or like it was raining chocolate in this magical land, or like some wizard was like, have chocolate. I don't remember. All I remember is there was a picture in the book, because it was one of those books where it was like trying to get kids out of picture books, but like while still reading. Excuse me. And like he was just inhaling candy bars. I'm pretty, like you could see it in the picture. I'm pretty sure. Again, bear with me. This is me trying to remember, like, I read voraciously as a kid. Now, not so much, because there's a lot of attention span and time and emotional investment and, you know, it's a lot of work. I'm sad that I don't have as much energy. I have more time now, but I don't have as much energy to read, you know? But when I was a kid, I would just inhale book after book after book, and up until a couple years ago, when things got busy and crazy and etc. And sometimes the plots would get mixed together, but I know for a fact that these plot points, the girl who got, like, overpowered and these items got stolen, she's like, so I'll go get them back. And then the vivid sleepover, like, I know for a fact that was one book. And then this guy inhaling chocolate bars, candy bars, for whatever reason. Like, just literally inhaling them. That's all I've got on the series. Yeah. Like, I can't even remember the cover. I think the main chick was blonde. Like every other, most girls are in books of that sort. I think she was blonde. So here's my thing. I know for a fact this book series existed. Like, I am 97.32 whatever % certain, like, that at least just the sleepovers part, like, was a book somewhere. And I refuse to believe it's a Daisy Meadows book, because I really don't think it was. And, like, I read her books as a kid, and I'm like, these are boring. Maybe if I read back, like, I picked up a couple of them, just out of happenstance, because I have, you know, like Hazel, she's sometimes brings some, like, earlier, would bring some home, goodness, and so I'd pick them up and read them, and I'm like, these aren't that bad, but, like, as a kid, I would, like, be like, no, I will never read Daisy, like, the fairy books by her. Don't like it. And, yeah. So I'm asking, like, the internet, hive mind, if any of you know at least that one specific book, the Land of Sleepovers, or whatever, the magical teddy bear, and then they had to, like, get it, and, like, and then, like, all the kids, and they were crazy, From my very not focused description, if you're like, wow, that seems familiar, please let me know. So I'm not, like, sitting here like, I'm crazy. Because I feel a little bit crazy because, like, I cannot find it anywhere. I'm not kidding. It's just gone. And I know it was written sometime after, like, sometime before 2008-ish. Like, it was published before then, which is a lot of books. Yeah, but I can't find it anywhere, and I know it exists. So if you know it exists and you find this video and you're like, hey, I know exactly what she's talking about, or I'm like, that sounds familiar, let me know, please, because that validation would be great. And just, cause I don't necessarily even want to reread it. I'm just really frustrated because this has been like a 2-year search, because I remembered this book and I'm like, I wonder if I could like just find it again at the library. Just, you know, one of those casual, like, remember that thing that happened? Let's see if, like, we can, like, find proof it existed. And then it didn't. And it just doesn't exist. At all. I swear I'm not crazy. So, if you, are like, yeah, that sounds familiar, just, you know, let me know in the comments. So I don't feel so alone in this. I know it exists. And if you actually know the title or the author or, like, the series or anything like that, like, let me know in the comments, because seriously, help me, hive mind of the internet. This is what the internet's for, right? For diving back into those recessed memories of all the things that happened to you when you were a child, right? And then just relating to them. Because everyone's like, remember this from the 90s? Only 90s kids will remember this. So, yeah, that's the Saturday specials today. No advice, no dice. This is actually me asking for your help. Because it's this thing that I've been searching for 2 years, and this other thing, this fairy tale, I know exists, because again, I'm creative, and I'm smart, but not this creative and smart, especially as a child, because I remember this fairy tale that I don't want to talk about right now, because I'm scared that it exists, and then later, I'm gonna read it. Well, like, I know it exists, but like later I'm gonna read it on this channel, and I'm gonna feel really dumb, because it was just in the book that I owned. That would be sad. So like, these two things drive me absolutely nuts, because I cannot find their existence anywhere. And I know they exist. I know they exist. Like, that's... Yeah, so that's this today's Saturday special, is me ranting about a children's book that I am pretty certain, like, I would bet, I don't have that much money, like, I have a job, but, like, so I would bet, like, a decent amount of candy or something that, like, this exists. Not that I'm betting any of you, don't get your hopes up, but, like, I know it exists. But, like, if someone definitively says, like, I've searched through every book before 2008, it doesn't exist, you're crazy, I will be really disappointed and shocked out of my mind. But, like, I won't, like, die of surprise, because, like, I don't know, if someone actually searched from all the books pre-2008, I would kind of have to believe them, unless I did my own search. I don't know how to do that, though. Anyways, so, yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, if you did watch this, if this just goes into the YouTube trash, the recycle bin of, nobody's gonna watch that. That's fine. it felt good to get it off my chest of this thing that I swear exists. Alright, then, yeah, we're gonna call that it for the day, and my camera woman is elsewhere, so I'm gonna sign off by myself, so see y'all later.